California burger flippers who complained about wage horrified at what they showed up to next day. Over the last several years, the left has been screeching about a $15 minimum wage hike across the country. These entitled leftists claim that the current minimum wage is just too low for entry-level positions and that they deserve more for their skills or lack thereof. No matter how many times people attempt to explain how the wage system works, it seems to elude their simple minds. States around the country have buckled to the pressure by raising their wage, and are now witnessing the disastrous results. Now workers in California are on the receiving end of bad news after what just showed up in their state to take their jobs. People really should think long hard about what they want before asking, because more often than not it will not turn out the way you think it should. A prime example of that is the Fight for $15 group. These economically challenged individuals have created quite the stink about their meager entry-level job wage. These young socialists under the tutelage of Bernie Sanders believe that they should be paid 15 buckaroos an hour for flipping burgers and folding t-shirts in the mall. Unfortunately, California and Seattle have implemented this wage hike, and now job seekers realize they chose poorly. The Washington Post reported earlier this year that researchers from the University of Washington found that critics were right along about the minimum wage hike. The Post even went as far as to say that the results were bad news for leftists, but even worse news for low-skilled workers. According to Reason, the study finds that when wages were increased to $13, employers cut hours by 9%. That means that low-skilled workers saw their monthly compensation decrease by an average of $125. Studies that downplay the effects of minimum wage hikes have mostly focused on teenagers and fast food workers. But the study at the University of Washington paper looks at the impact on workers spanning all ages and all demographics. The findings may surprise progressives who believe that the only limit to higher pay for workers is the greed and selfishness of business owners. But it doesn't come as a surprise to those who remain unconvinced that the law of supply and demand can be amended by city councils. Labor is simply another cost for any business, and when the price of something goes up, we tend to buy less of it. Another takeaway from the study is that if you want to raise the income of low-skilled workers, taxpayers should pay for that burden through direct cash payments or other forms of welfare. Offloading the cost to employers has unintended consequences, even though it's a lot easier to demonize business owners for being greedy cheapskates than to build a consensus around raising taxes. The lesson from Seattle that all cities should pay attention to is that forcing business to pay more hurts the very people minimum wage hikes are supposed to help. That such ordinances are usually passed in the name of low income, low-skilled workers only make that reality all the worse. Now, California workers are realizing the same error of their ways with the introduction of Flippy, the robotic kitchen assistant. Flippy is the creation of Miso Robotics, an engineering firm specializing in adaptable robotics for commercial kitchens. The goal of Miso is to develop the technology that is able to handle tedious tasks such as burger flipping, frying chicken, cutting vegetables, and even plate presentation. So in other words, all those minimum wage restaurant jobs that these protesters want $15 an hour for can easily be replaced. And if these workers think that this concept is not immediate, they would be wrong. In fact, Flippy just won its first contract with Cali Burger, who is planning to roll out with this machine in all its 50 global locations. Here is more from Nation's Restaurant News. The application of artificial intelligence to robotic systems that work next to our employees in Cali Burger restaurants will allow us to make food faster, safer, and with fewer errors, said Miller. Our investment in Miso Robotics is part of our broader vision for creating a unified operating system that will control all aspects of a restaurant, from in-store interactive gaming entertainment, to automated ordering and cooking processes, intelligent food delivery, and real-time detection of operating errors and pathogens. The chain declined to reveal the cost of Flippy, saying Miso Robotics is working with customers to determine the best pricing model. The price will be in line with the productivity benefits Flippy provides to restaurant owners, said a spokesperson. Here is Flippy in action, and he looks like he has his job down pat. This is what happens when you bite the hand that feeds you. These jobs are called entry-level positions since they are not meant to be a lifetime goal. If they want $15 or more an hour, they need to get the skills to make that reality. However, if these liberals push businesses to pay them more than what they are worth, well, companies will find another way, and looks like they just did.